Hi my friends, so today we are going to do our egg carton treasure box part 2. So the first part was decorating our inside, and after we finished it looked something like this with our decoupage. And the next part is going to be decorating the outside. So once your inside of your treasure box is dry, which should take maybe a day or two depending on how much glue you use inside, you should leave it to dry open and face down, or open and face up, either way, as long as the top is open so the air can get in. So for the second part, we're going to continue with our decorating the outside, and we're going to do the same thing we did inside. However, because this box is nice and flat on the front part of it, there is an easier way to do what we did on the inside. So if you had fun doing the decoupage and doing the decoupage method of picking up one paper at a time, or like 2 or 3 at a time, and placing it will get you a much better result, then you can continue doing that on the outside of the box. If you want to do it a faster way, then you can take your glue, spread it out nice and even all along the front of your egg carton. And I'm just going to take a little bit more glue because there's just one area that's not covered. And I'm just using a paintbrush to just spread that glue around. You're going to spread it all the way around. And once it looks something like this, where everything is covered on the front, you guys see how it's nice and shiny? That's the glue. You're gonna take your plate or bowl or wherever you have your scrap paper in. You're gonna give it a few tosses and to try to get all the paper facing up or facing down. So facing the white part. So when you pick it up, your decorative part will show. And then you're just gonna take your box and dip it into the paper. And before you lift it up, you're going to want to try to shake some of it off. And you should get something like that. So you're going to do that a few times. After you dip it, you're going to put a little bit more glue just around the front. I'll show you guys. I'll bring it closer. I don't know if you guys can see that square of glue, rectangle of glue I made. And then I'm gonna go zigzag across just to make sure all the space gets covered. And then I'm gonna dip again. And remember, you kind of want to dust it off before you pick it up fully, just to make sure everything is covered. And it should look something like that. Then you're going to take your hand, this part can get a little messy, and you're going to press down on the top so that all the pieces of paper that's stuck on there will stay. You want it to get a nice strong hold with the glue, and you're going to start pressing down on the sides. If the paper comes off in your palm, that's okay. Just try to peel it off and put it back, because we still have a little bit more to dip to finish our treasure box. So keep pressing, and after you get all the paper to get kind of flat and fitted onto the box, you're going to paint the sides. So I'm just going to put some glue and paint one side, and you can use the glue if pieces of paper are sticking up on the sides. I'll show you closer. Some of these papers are sticking up. You can use the glue to just push them down onto the sides so that they're gonna lay nice and flat and even when you're all done with this project. And then after you glue, you're gonna dip the side. Boop. And remember to shake off any extra. I'm actually gonna hand take this off because that piece is a little bit too big for this area. I'm gonna push some pieces into place. Once you dip, you can kind of start rearranging with your hands. This is just an easier way so you don't have to place each piece by yourself. Okay, you should get something kind of like this. If you're satisfied with how it looks, which I am, you can move on to the next side. If you're not, you can place some more glue and dip it again. But I'm going to do that one more time with the whole box at the end. So I'm going to move on to the next side. Paint my glue on. Start pushing down some of the pieces on the corners that are not resting flat. And I'm going to dip. And shake off the extra. Tapping might help sometimes too, help the papers get loose. If it's not, you can always just peel the paper. And if a paper is kind of placed nicely, but you don't want the whole, it's a bigger piece of paper and you don't want the whole thing, you can just rip up the piece that's sticking off of the egg carton off. And with papers like this that stick up, just hit it with a dot of glue at the top and push it back down so that the glue sticks it. Remember, you can always add more glue if you need to stick any special piece down. We're gonna go one more time on this side, and I'm gonna move this piece of paper just to remind my friends that this little knob here that holds the egg carton closed, you're not gonna wanna glue that. So you can glue on this side of the egg carton, and then after, if any paper gets on that part, just pull that paper off. So we should be able to see that little knob, because that's how you open your treasure box and get in and get out. So you're gonna paint, dip. Whoop. And then shake, knock off any pieces. And then you can just start pasting pieces on that you want there. This part didn't get any paper, so I'm just gonna start pushing some paper on this part. So you should get something like that. And the final step is to paint over everything. So if you have Mod Podge at home, that's like a sealant that's gonna keep the paper in place and make your box look shiny, and it's gonna keep everything together so that you don't have any falling paper. If you don't have Mod Podge at home, like me, you can just use your glue and just glue on top of your paper. And once your glue dries fully, it's going to leave it nice and shiny like Mod Podge would, and it's gonna seal all the paper that you put on there. I'm gonna finish this off camera, and then when it's all done, I will show you guys a shot of the finished product, okay? All right, my friends, I am back, and I just finished gluing the front of my box. I'm gonna show you how that looks. It's white right now, so it kind of covers up the paper, but when it dries, it's going to dry clear. And I'm gonna show you the inside that I painted a few days before. And this is what it looks like, painted with the glue. As you can see, the glue is, I just painted this yesterday, so the glue is still drying, but you can see it's much clearer now, and you can start seeing the paper. And if you look closer, you can see a nice shine. That means the glue is gonna keep all that paper in there nice and safe and nice and attached to your box. So there you have it, friends. After this is dry, set this aside, let it sit out face down like this to dry. And once it's fully dry, give it a day or two, because it's a lot of glue that you used. You can use this as a little treasure box and put all types of goodies inside these little egg holders, and then close it up. And you can put it on your chest of drawers or anything, any type of furniture, and it's really fun to have. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of this project. Bye bye.